Hello again. So this is the feedback video done over from last night, and this is our landscape photography, which is a big category. Most people really love it, and it seems like most of you enjoyed it. The spirits of being outdoors, that's lovely. And you're carrying it to the viewer's eyes. Oh, I love that. And that's so true. I often tell this story to my young photographers that I was out on a middle school photo shoot. And this was a long time ago. But, I mean, I still know this girl. She still keeps in touch. But anyway, we're like walking, and everyone's like, I can't find anything to take pictures of. I don't see anything. And so we were like walking in the woods, and we saw this little patch of brown mushrooms, and they looked so ordinary, like just nothing exciting. And I always talk to the kids especially about if you get down super, super, super low, you're going to see the world as if you were an insect. Everything's going to be so huge, and you can see things that, no one else can see. So it's like sharing your viewpoint with the world. And, what can you show them that they can't see with their own eyes, Because we usually just only look at everything that's eye level. So she got down on her belly, and she looked up underneath at the mushrooms. And it was just like this wonderful, incredible world with all the patterns underneath the mushrooms, and the mushrooms getting smaller and smaller, and it was just, it was like fantasy land. And I'm a fan of mushrooms to begin with. Not just eating them, but how they look. Okay, end of story. But you see what I'm saying. I was just connecting to what Astrid said. See something so beautiful, you're too stunned to speak. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here come your critiques. You asked for it. You're going to get them. Okay, so looking between these first two images, the edited and unedited, I noticed right away two things. One is that in this image, the lower half of the image, the ground and the trees and the road, or I think that's a road, all appear to be enhanced up here. So it's like you brought the warmth out, and that was perhaps just increasing the warmth in the sun itself and the sunset colors. But that also did something else to your sky, and I'm not sure if you selected sky and edited that separately, but it almost appears that you did. So in the sky, in the edited version, we lost our colors. It's very gray. But if you had a plan to do that, you wanted it to be gray, like maybe you're thinking of a darker story, if you have a purpose for what you're doing, then by all means. But this is definitely a reduced contrast, and that's usually how we get the gray. Increasing the contrast would give us, dark against light would be more pronounced, and it also increases the clarity a little bit. So I'm getting more clarity here than here. So I'm just curious if that was a choice, that was your intention. But anyway, I like it. Okay, this one is also nice. And again, I find that in the original unedited file, I am seeing more clarity, more light, whereas in the edited, it's darker. So, perhaps you're going for that type of look. You like things to be darker. That said, the colors are brighter. You know, the grass is greener. This tree is, you know, more saturated. But again, we've got the gray in the sky. So, do you remember when I showed you how you can go into Camera Raw or Camera Raw filter in Photoshop and you can do a linear gradient? So that's like a mask. And, you know, I'm sure there's another way you can do it, but I always use the Camera Raw. And you just start at the top of your sky and you could just kind of drag down. And then you can enhance just the sky area. So if you wanted to bring back in detail, you know, you could reduce the highlights, increase saturation, or, you know, whatever your intended effect is. I don't want to say that, because those are the things that I like to do, but, you know, I have a different type of photography. I have a different set of aesthetics, you know, that go with what I do. So I don't want you to think you can't do what you do. You can. But I do like the clarity here and the light. But I can see, you know, you got more detail in the lake there. So there's things I like, questions that I have. And then this image, oh, very bright. But it's kind of just like glowy. So, like, I really enjoy this glow. And the glow that it created on the tree. And then here we've got a little bit less of a glow, but we've got more clarity. We've got more definition on the tree, more clarity. So yeah, I think I agree with you on this one. I would probably still do the linear gradient for the sky, just because you have just some washed out areas that lost their detail. And that's just one of those things that all photographers point out. It's just... Alright, let me open up your contact sheet in Photoshop. Okay, so here's the whole big picture. The first thing I notice about it is it just, all of the yellows makes it feel like the past to me. It's a little bit too clear to be the past, but I get that overall effect looking at the bigger picture. But let's zoom in a little bit here and talk about the ones that we haven't talked about. Okay. This one I feel like not as much going on as with your other images. And we like that one a lot. This one as well, not as much going on. This one is nice. It is similar to your other image. And I would have the same recommendations for this image. And I like it. I like the composition of it. I love the near tree and the far tree and the distance further distant. So I do really like that one. I don't know which one's better, to be honest. That one does have that lovely glow. But this one has a little bit more going on composition-wise. So tough choice. And here we're getting some detail coming in that's, you know, this is kind of like framing. So I like it, but I don't know if I like it better than the other two. There's so many different types of trees. So I enjoy that about this image. And then, wow, so this is the park. Empty. Amazing. I do like what you've got going on here with the reds and the oranges. Feels really fall. this one you're getting that glow again. But I don't know if there's enough going on here. Excuse me. Okay, what happened there? I think I just went off the contact sheet a little bit. This one has some really interesting elements, and I can see why you chose it. And I'm noticing these shadows. And it's these trees that are blocking the sunset light that's behind them. I like it a lot. And this one has lovely colors. I would experiment with that linear gradient with this one. I mean, the sky is just so... There's nothing going on. And there's some fun things you can do in Camera Raw Filter too. You can, maybe I'm thinking Photoshop, but this is like a really new thing. You can add a sky. So, say you wanted to completely change out the sky. That is possible. So please just let me know if you want a little mini tutorial on that. I'd be happy to create one for you or for the group. And it's pretty. I don't know if there's enough here though, because of your other images. They're holding a standard to the rest. This one I think is a little bit, it feels a little over edited. Like I'm getting that little bits of red everywhere, on the edges of things, and I've got that gray sky again. It's a peaceful, nice open space, nice and clear. And it's okay. This one I kind of like the curve that was included here, but I don't think that that's enough. Okay, and this one we definitely talked about. It's one of your faves. Yeah, you're really losing light there. Ooh, I like that composition a lot. So sometimes when you get a dark image, especially if you have the raw file, it is just so easy to bring up the exposure. However, I know you like things to be on the dark side, and I'm okay with that. That's your aesthetic. And I want you to stay with what you love, but you can always try it. This one feels so oversaturated, but that said, I love how this tree bark looks. Oh, it's so, like it's 3 colors and so textured and so much red. So in this case, I think, say you wanted to highlight those red tones, I would go into Photoshop and hue saturation, and then I would select the green and reduce the saturation of the green so the two aren't competing, so it's almost like otherworldly, like we're on another planet. It could be believable if it's one or the other, the red or the green, but together it looks, like, I don't know, radiation or something. Just a little bit over-edited. Okay, I think that's your last one, Astrid. Now let's open up your Panorama. And I know I'm not using Bridge tonight, but I normally always do. Okay, so this is really neat. I like that it's asymmetrical, this side is entirely symmetrical, almost perfectly. and then this side just kind of ends and turns into grass. So I just wanted to show you something that I would try if it were me. Under your filters in Photoshop, you can try liquefy. Okay, whatever. Let me just make sure I'm fitting in the window here so you can see. So you would have this toolbar, you know, that opens up in liquefy, and you've got a brush, and the brush is like, so you can create some swirly effects. And you know, there's a bunch of things that you can try in here, but let's try the brush. If I mouse over here, I can see how big it is, and that looks pretty good to me. So what I would try is, you know, what if you stretch it to get rid of that hard edge, and maybe, you know, kind of swirl this together. I don't think it's, you know, a bad idea, and it is really fun to play with liquefy. That said, everybody's going to know you use liquefy because it's very recognizable. It's almost like a common filter that people use, like in Instagram or, you know, social media. But isn't that fun? It's worth exploring, I think. I think you would enjoy it, especially because of your, you know, being an artist outside of photography. So, yeah, good times. Okay, that's it for Astrid. Let's go to our next person.